This is a 20 light string. I got them on Christmas clearance at Walmart. It does take batteries. You drill the holes and then these poke through. But man, that's going to make kind of a mess on the back, isn't it? It's going to make it bulky. Let me think about this. Maybe attach them to the board somehow. Would resin hurt it? Then you put the glass on top and the resin on top. If you use green glass, wire will be hidden, I think. I don't think there's really any other better way to do it. It would stick through a little bit. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and try it. Why not? This is going to be my sacrificial lamb, so to speak, my guinea pig. This is just an old Christmas tree from last year. It kind of fell apart. It was just an experiment with some acrylic paints. Alright, so I'm going to use another piece of wood underneath. So as I drill, I have another old piece of board. Dirty mess, but that's just how I roll, y'all. I'm going to be drilling all the way through, so I want a piece in the back too. Definitely want one at the top. Oh, I think my battery is dead. Getting dead. I didn't have a big enough drill bit anyways. But yes. Okay. So this is what it's going to do. It's going to poke through the back. And then I can hide the wires on the back. Okay. So let me finish drilling my holes. So that's what it looks like. It looks like you could put little pegs through it, like that peg game at Cracker Barrel. So I'm going to flip it over and just stick them through. So that is a great big hot mess back here. But I wonder if I put something, I don't know, some tape or something. And then I'm just going to attach that with probably some double-sided tape. But flip this over. This is what it looks like if they're all the way through. But if I want them completely covered, how would that look in the back? So if I wanted them flush, which I like the look of that, I think in the back they poke out a little bit. And then they stick out. So is it better to have them all the way through the top, you know, so it's more flat on the back? Because I think once you have the glass on top, it won't really matter because these will be covered. And then it's more flat on the back. I think I like that. So I think that's how I'm going to do this one. I want it flush on the back so that the wire is flat on the back and they're sticking out on the top. I guess I should put batteries in it to see if it works. Woo, look at that, it's blue. Oh goodness. So I need some clear. I need clear. So I'm just going to take all this out. Oh my goodness. It's okay. I didn't realize this one was blue. I did buy clear. I guess I just didn't look at the package when I grabbed it. All right. Now, if I wanted to get really fancy, I could recess the battery pack, but I don't think I'm going to do that. Do some double-sided tape because that's just a lot of time and energy for something that doesn't really matter. Yes, okay, they work. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we have on the back. It looks like a hot mess. And so on the front, I've decided that I want these flush. So the wire, like the hard part. So you see the wire is attached to that base. I don't want to crimp it, so I'm going to lay it flat like that. And I think I could just use I'm going to use a stapler. This one. So I'm just going to use my my staple gun with I think these will work. I don't think they're too thick. I think these will work fine. All right. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to crimp the wire. So I want to just barely, see if you can see that. I want to just barely staple down the wire in between. So my staple is going to straddle the wire, okay? And good Lord, be careful with this because you absolutely do not want to staple into that wire. And you also don't want to staple your finger, because that would not be good. Let me show you what I mean by straddling. The staple gun has a little indentation in it. And so if you put that in like on top of the wire, the staples are going to be on either side. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. Okay. So watch what happens when I staple. And I have awful arthritis, but see, it's straddling the wire. So that's what I mean by straddling the wire. And that's going to keep the wire in place. I think that's going to be a good thing. And then you can kind of bunch them up maybe like that. But I'm gonna do that with the wires first. You just got to be careful. You just have to be careful with it. Okay, that's a lot better than it was. Maybe that one. All right, and then we'll somehow get this secured. Right now I'm just gonna maybe staple it right there. I do not want to mess. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the front. It's beautiful, it works, except for those two. Oh my God, really? These two don't work. Uh, nope. Well, I might have broken that. So I got to figure out something other than the staple gun then, because I think it's just putting this thing is just too strong. So you know what? This is an experiment. It's okay. It's okay. So now I think when I put the resin in, it's gonna drip. So what I was thinking about doing is putting some UV resin just along the holes, and then that way I'm kind of sealing that. So I've got my Let's Resin light, Let's Resin UV resin, and I'm just gonna seal this light in, I think. And this is just so I don't get any resin seepage when I go to pour the resin and seal the glass in. This is just going to help that a little bit. Okay. Perfect. Now I'm ready for glass. Oh, I'm kind of bummed. I mean, well, that double-sided tape did not work. I'll do something else. I'm really bummed about those two lights not working, but this is just my test piece. I'm not worried about it. This thing is not sticking. I just think it's cheap tape. I probably just need to put some Gorilla Glue on it, or E6000. But I'm not worried about that right now. So, okay, I have some green crushed glass, and I want to make a big disclaimer. This glass is from broken wine bottles, broken beer bottles. And yes, the edges are sharp. I do not tumble my glass. Linda Berman, the crazy glass lady, tumbles her glass. Her stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I do not tumble my glass. It's a personal preference. You don't have to do it. But so don't freak out if I'm touching the glass. It's not sharp. If you prefer to wear gloves, by all means wear gloves. By all means wear gloves, okay? I'm just gonna pick out the big stuff because I don't want the big stuff. I just need to crush it some more. And I am gonna be making a video very soon on how I crush my glass. I do not buy my glass. You can buy it. You can buy it at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon. I'm just gonna pick out the big stuff. And then I'm just gonna kind of make a form. I'm just gonna go right over the top. Then I can pick out stuff as I go, I guess. And so I'm just putting on, it's probably about a 1/2 inch thick layer. I'm trying to overlap where the paint is because I don't want the painted parts to show, although it's not that bad. I mean, it's not like it's a huge deal. Now, you can use, I have one of these giant popsicle sticks that you can use as a guide too. And usually when I'm making a tree, when I make my normal trees without the embedded lights, this is how I form the shape. Just kind of like, I don't know, you're just guiding it, guiding the glass where you want to go. But that's, the top looks good. This tree has a little bit of a broader base, so that's okay. You can see the lights. That is okay. I do not care. And I want to put some there too. Wonder about chunkier pieces on the bottom. That maybe that looks a little weird. Let me use the little stuff. What do you think? Enough? I think so. Okay. I do not think I'm going to add any ornaments yet. I don't like that piece. I don't think I'm going to add any ornaments yet. All right. I'm going to mix up my resin. Actually, you know what I should have done? I should have leveled my board first. I think it's a little wonky. We're going to wing it because I cannot find my level. I'm going to eyeball it. Okay. I do not remember how much resin I need to use, so I might as well mix up more than what I think I'm going to need. I think I'm going to go ahead and mix up 40. I am using Let's Resin, which is a thinner resin than KSRESIN liquidy split that I normally use. I'm all out of the KSRESIN liquidy split, so I am using Let's Resin for this project. And since it's a little bit thinner, and I'm a little bit worried about runoff on my board, I'm going to let this sit for about 20 minutes and let it thicken up just a little bit, and I'll come back. This has been sitting. It's getting a little thicker. I think it's going to be fine. I would not recommend doing this with a facet, like with liquidy split, because it will get hot. So this is a little thicker now. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to drizzle it on top of the glass. And I'm going to try really hard not to get it on the wood because I don't have the wood sealed. So I'm just going to have to be very careful. I think that's perfect. I actually only used 30 milliliters, but since I already have some, I mean, since I have some left over, I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of it on here. But I really only needed 30 milliliters for this tree. But I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of it on. Might as well put some on the sand too. This was already on here from my practice piece, so I don't care. Now the resin is going to keep seeping down into the wood or down between the glass, and it will seal really nicely. And I'm not using a fast set this time, remember, so I'm gonna have to wait a while. But what I could do too, I could go ahead and sprinkle on a little bit more smaller pieces of glass maybe, and just fill in some of these gaps that I can see, like right there. Okay, and then I still need a topper. I have these giant starfish from Amazon. And I don't want a big one. I just need a little one right there. But his little arm is cut off. Could use this one. I'll use that. I think I'm just going to put a little bit on the back of this starfish. I should have just enough. Yeah, this may not work, but I can always come back and put some E6000 or something. All right, let's see if that'll stick. All right, now we just wait. Okay, the star is sticking. Should have put it down a little bit more. I've got a gap right there, but all the glass is sticking pretty much. And I stuck some resin on the back side of this, and it's sticking. The back looks pretty neat. I think next time I'm not going to use staples, because the staples, I think, is what is causing these top two lights to not light. I pinched the wire, so I'm probably honestly just going to use tape on the back, but it's looking kind of plain. And I'm going to cover these two lights just so they don't look so odd. And to keep with the nautical theme, I'm thinking about just using UV resin and some of these little starfish. I don't know if that's going to work though. Just to kind of hide the fact that these aren't working, but I wonder what that will look like. What if I turn that on? What will it look like? That looks kind of weird. Oh, me. Well, just go with it, I guess. That'll be fine. That doesn't look as odd, and plus it's helping to kind of tone down, I think, the they're so bright. But I think in a darker room, it will look really nice. And I kind of like the glass covering the kind of like that. So let me get these secured. That one is not. Ah. All right, well, it's just gonna go there. And then I'm gonna do a critique. Okay. So, gonna use Let's Resin, UV resin, and my Let's Resin curing light. And I'm only gonna put a little bit on here. Just enough. Definitely need to put the glass over the lights because these little lights are really bright. And I just think it looks better if they're not as, like this one is just so bright. But I have an idea. So I did have a couple pieces of glass to fall off, which is normal. It is perfectly normal, as long as it's not during my show. Okay. So let's do a little critique. Number one. This was my test piece, so I know it's not perfect. It's really cute. I like it. Is there a light right there? Oh, I forgot the starfish right there. All right, so. Okay, let me turn this off so I don't run the batteries down. So, I know this was my test piece, and I know it's not perfect, but I still like it. I'm gonna keep this. This is mine. So, critique first. I am definitely not going to use the staples on the back. The wires are contained, but the staples, I think, pinched these wires up at the top, and that's why these are not working. So I think next time I'm going to use strong tape, and I think I could go ahead and use maybe just little dots of UV resin on the back just to contain these wires a little bit. And I'm glad that I did put the UV resin on the top side of where the little lights go in, because that prevented, well, not all of it. I did still have some resin to leak through, but not as much as it could have been. So that was a good idea. Second thing I will do differently, I like having the back side of the bulb flush with the back. I don't want them sticking out. So what I may do next time is use a thicker board. This is fence board, and if I use a thicker board, I can have the back flush and then not have the bulb stick out so much at the front, so that the bulb is maybe more flush with the top board so that it's not sticking through the glass. And then that way I don't have to use as much glass, and the bulbs aren't as bright as some of these are. So it was a good experiment. I really, really wanted to try to use lights. These smaller ones I've been selling for $20 at my shows, and this is 16 inches long by 5 inches wide. It's a standard, well, 5.5 inches wide. It's a standard fence board, and I just, recycle these from wood that I find on the side of the road and just give them a good clean. I like how weathered they are. It's already the right color for kind of a beachy theme, and you know me, I'm a beachy girl. I sell the ones without lights. Well, this is the first one I've done with lights. I sell these for $20 at my shows. They go like hotcakes. With the lights, I probably would charge $25. That's a really good price point for me in my market. It's a good price point. So no more than that. If I do a taller one or a wider one, most definitely I would charge more. But this one, I think well, I'm not going to sell this one. This one's mine. But so I hope you learned something in this video. I know I did. This was a really, really good experiment. And I'm going to try it again. Don't worry about how sharp it is. You're not going to go and shave your legs with it. And see, I'm running my hand on it. Now, if I go to whack my hand on it, yeah, I'm probably going to cut myself. But so, all right. Make it a crafty day.